Alright, this is Matt with Dolphin Video Productions, back with another After Effects how-to video. Today we're going to talk about the write-on and stroke effects in After Effects. So we are going to start now with the new composition. And this video I chose the theme of my brother's wedding. If he had actually paid the money to hire me to work on a video for it, this is probably how I would have done the intro. So we're going to use a video. His name is Richard and his wife's name is Frankie. And we're going to use the stroke effect today to create a nice little intro for what could be a wedding video. So I'm just gonna do some quick little a quick little bar reveal here, just so we have something to add our text to. This is not important at all to the stroke effect. It's just to add a little flair to this animation. Start it here as a blank image and have the rectangle sort of fade in to about 60%. So we get a nice little area for our text to appear in. Doesn't need to be quite that far. Make it appear a little bit quicker here. Alright, so once we've done that, we're going to take our text tool and type the text we're going to use for the stroke effect. Today we're going to be using the Winter Calligraphy font. You can find this font in the description at dafont.com. I'll add it down there. We're going to write out our text here and place it in the middle of the rectangle. Now once we've done that, and make sure that you've selected your text. Go into the effects and select the stroke effect. The write-on effect is very similar. It's something you can definitely use to create the same sort of effect, but I feel that the stroke effect is a lot easier. It has much easier start and end points, and it's a little bit simpler for beginners to get the kind of effect that we're looking for here. So once we've done that, we're going to take our little hand tool, and you can use the H on your keyboard to select the hand tool. It's going to be very, very useful in this video. And we're going to click the little start button there, and then select the pen tool. Now, if you haven't used the pen tool before, the way that this works is you are going to click right at the very beginning, the very first word, the very first letter of your phrase, or whatever we're having appear here. You're going to click on it, and that's going to start the first button, the first little button in our long curvy line. You're going to sort of use that pen tool to trace over the words, and to create the curves, you're going to click and drag in the direction you want the curve to go. Once you do that, you can use those two little handlebars to adjust it and make it fit right in the middle of each letter. You want this line to continue right as close as you can to the middle of each of these little swoops. Now, we chose a pretty complex font to do this. I wanted to make sure that, whether you're using this font or a simpler one, that your job's going to be a little bit easier than ours is today. But just to show you that it can be done with a difficult font. Now, once you get to a spot like this where the line ends, you can just go ahead and continue on with the same line, or you can start a new one. We'll show you how to do it both ways as we continue on in this video. We're going to continue on with this R here. And you can always go back and adjust these lines later after you finish. And it's going to actually be necessary because it's hard to tell with just a little skinny line there what you're doing. And we'll show you what to do as we get done here. We're on our last little leg of this R. Finishing up now. And there you go. Now, just to show you what we've done, we're going to go ahead and click Reveal Original Image. Now, what you see there is that the image disappears, and that's what we're going to want to end up with after we finish this, because we want the stroke effect to reveal the image as we continue. Go ahead and keep it on Original Image for now. Next, what you're going to do is go ahead and mess with the brush size. What this does is shows you how much the stroke is going to reveal as it moves along each letter. Now, at 7.3 here, you see it doesn't quite cover up all of the pink, So we're going to go ahead and raise it up to about 12, and we might adjust that more later. Now, if you look closely, you can see that at some parts it does not cover up the pink. Let's go ahead and change it to a red here to make it easier to see, so you can see the inner line and the stroke. You can choose any color you want, it does not matter. We're going to go through here and use the little handlebars and little buttons here to adjust and make sure that it covers up just about all of the lavender. I guess it's lavender color. Once you're pretty sure that it's got most, if not all of it, the more exact you get here, the better it's going to look. Another issue is as you get to these swoops and crosses, the thicker the line is, the more chance you have of it displaying parts of the letter that you may not want it to show at these parts, and we'll kind of show you what we mean as we continue in this video. Now, you're going to make a little ending part. You're going to start at 0% and end at 100% down here in the effects buttons. And as you click the spacebar here, you'll see that the red line slowly moves along the letter. If you go ahead and click Reveal Original Image, you'll see that it reveals the letter R. As you can see, move the distance between the beginning and end points to speed up the reveal of the letter. You can also adjust the brush hardness to make it a bit smoother. Now that we've done this, we're going to go ahead and continue. I'm going to speed up this part a little bit here just because this is a pretty long process. Depending on how complicated your letters are, depending on how long the phrase is, this can be a long process just to make sure that it looks good. But once you get the hang of it, it is not too difficult. The most difficult part about this, I would say, is the pen tool. The pen tool can be tricky because After Effects likes to help you out and kind of guess where you're going to want to go with the pen tool, which is fine. Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't, but you'll kind of get the feel for it as you practice. Now, just so you know, you don't have to use cursive writing here. I think cursive writing looks pretty good with this effect on it. It's nice for weddings and kind of flowery lettering and stuff like that, but you could use an image that you mask. You could use just a regular sans serif font. Anything you want will work with this effect. Now you notice when I did the eye here, this is just a little afterthought. Like I said, you don't have to continue on with the same pen line. You can start it and stop it as many times as you want, and the cool thing about the stroke effect is that it will continue. Now that we got to the ampersand, we'll show you exactly what I mean. So we're going to go ahead and, after adjusting once more to make sure that the whole lavender word is covered, all of that space, we're going to go ahead and start on the ampersand. So we're going to go ahead and click the arrow tool to stop the first word, and click on the pen tool to start another, and go ahead and do the same thing we've been doing, cover up that ampersand. Now the thing about this is you cannot change the brush size from letter to letter. You could create a brand new source of text, a brand new piece of text for every letter or every word, and have a separate stroke effect on each one, and then you could have a different brush size for each one. But for ease of use and not to confuse anybody, we're just going to go ahead and use one for this one. So as you can see, now that we've finished the ampersand, instead of having to do any crazy adjusting, the beginning and end points will reveal the entire thing from beginning to end from what we've done without any adjusting. It's pretty easy. That's why I like the stroke effect, because it's just cut and dry, easy to work with. You don't need to make this long process any more difficult for yourself. So now that we've done that, we're going to move on to Frankie, the last name. I'm going to speed this up once again. But to start, I'm going to show you what we did here with this F. We went ahead and started where we would have started at the beginning. You always wanted to begin where you would if you were actually drawing out this letter. Keep in mind that the mask is going to go ahead and reveal this empty space even though there is no letter underneath it. Just to show you can jump from pen line to pen line, we're going to go ahead and do that 3 times here. From the main F to the stroke of the F to the next little R piece here. Now I'm going to speed up the rest of this. Just for fun, we're going to dot the I right at the end here just to give it a nice extra effect. So once again, go ahead and adjust your stroke effect to make sure that it covers up all the lavender letters, all the lavender space of your text. And as we finish here, as we get done with that, you can see that it reveals this pretty nicely. I'm going to go with a 14.3 brush size and see how it looks. Looks pretty nice. And like we said, this is a pretty complex font. There's some thicker parts and thinner parts that can make this kind of difficult. If you really wanted to do this right, it might be best to switch up and do each section differently. To switch it up and do each section separately with its own stroke effect so you can adjust the brush size for each part to make sure that it covers everything completely without revealing anything that you don't want it to reveal. As we get to the ampersand, you can see that some of the crosshairs get revealed with a thick brush like this. But if you make the brush too thin, as you can see, it just doesn't look right. It looks thin, it looks like it just doesn't look as it should. So once again, this has been Matt with Dolphin Video Production. If you want to check out more of our how-to videos, you can online at dolphinvideoproductions.com, and make sure to subscribe. Thank you, and keep on animating.